I'm making another video. Hi everyone, this is Mega Gamer, and you're watching yet another video that I make that only my subscribers will watch because they are kind and awesome because they watch me. Hi, how's everyone doing? Doing a review here of the most anticipated game since the early 2000s, and ever since it was started on a blog somewhere that they were thinking of making a Final Fantasy VII remake. It was a huge rumor back when it started, and it's probably what pushed it into becoming what it is today in 2020. Wow, this long. We've been waiting this long. For any of you who have grown up in the 90s, you're gonna know where I'm coming with this. I was never a fan of RPGs. I hate RPGs. I can't stand turn-based RPGs because it's the equivalence of playing chess or checkers. Okay, I don't like it. I don't like RPG. I don't like. Well, I mean, I'm okay with RPG, but if it's turn-based, don't get it near me. But back in the 90s, when I first played this game in '96, it became my favorite. This was next to Mario RPG, one of the ones that I've tolerated, but it led me to fall in love with it because of the story, how colorful the characters are. This isn't one of those other Final Fantasy games where it's either too fantasy, at some point, or too lovey-dovey, mushy romance BS like all the other Final Fantasy games that came out, the other titles that came out after 7, because I think they were more targeted towards the female audience, because let's be honest, the characters, the protagonists, they're pretty boys, and it's about a chick, and it's about the journey to get the girl in the end, and la-di-da. And Final Fantasy VII is not anything to do with that, and that's probably one of the reasons why it's one of my favorites, other than the fact that I love Sephiroth. Sephiroth's one of my #1 favorite villains in all of the Final Fantasy universe. Not to mention Cloud with his big-ass sword. The Buster. Oh, the Buster. But, I think all of us can agree that the delays, when they said that they were going to release them, the delays really pissed us off, right? I mean, I'm not alone on this. I'm pretty sure a lot of people are going to be like,
Yeah, I was okay with it. I don't really mind. I can do other things besides pine over a video game that they say is going to be released, but it's never going to be released because they keep delaying it. But I'm okay because I'm mature.
Bullshit. Stop lying to yourself. I wasn't happy with the many delays that Square Enix, presented to everybody after they hyped everybody up, and oh yeah, by the way, the game's gonna get delayed. Boo! I'm not alone. So, finally played the demo yesterday, and I was blown away. It has the hack and slash mechanics. It hasn't really lost anything from the original. The cutscenes, the angles, the mapping, everything is still to its core originality. At least that's what I hope, since it was just the demo. I'm not really sure if it's going to be to its core originality, or they might actually add some stuff that hopefully doesn't have anything to do with politics or identity politics or any BS like that. But seriously, this is actually a dream come true next to other things that I enjoy very much on when it comes to playing video games. I'm always lecturing DE over their lack of creativity or their lack of originality, and I'm glad that they decided to make or bring back the classics from the 90s, and we've got several if you think about it. We've already got 4 titles that have been brought back from the dead. Well, not from the dead, because a lot of people still play that game. Even the collectors who have the original consoles still to this day play the original, even if the graphics aren't as good as they are now or anything like that. You got Final Fantasy VII, which looks amazing. You got Medieval, which was on the PS1 as well, and it looks awesome on the PS4. If you ever played Medieval, I have it. I still have it. It's probably one of the oldest relics I have in my collection. It's one of the surviving relics in my video game collection. And they brought back 2 Resident Evil titles that were also from the 90s, which is Resident Evil 2 and Resident Evil 3 Nemesis. And the reaction that I've seen everybody when these games came out was completely positive. And the way that they hype it up, just think about it this way. We've seen a lot of video game titles on a lot of different types of genres. You got your first-person shooters, your third-person, your platform, your RPGs, your action-adventure, your sports, and all this other stuff. And they're so empty. They feel hollow. The way that they're made, they feel lifeless. They feel like they don't have any soul. The developers seem like they're not even putting any care and love into the video games that they create. In good examples, you have games like Fortnite and D-Roll, Warframe, and a whole bunch of other ones. They keep making Call of Duty titles over and over again. Many of them don't make any more sense. There's a lot of games out there that we can honestly say they should bring back, make them better. New mechanics, new graphics, and I guarantee you that everybody's going to be into it. Any real gamers out there are going to be into it. I'm not talking about the new gen gamers, because they're all just a bunch of posers. Well, not all of them, I won't generalize. A lot of them actually are really interested in the old ways when it comes to video games, but a lot of them are just in it for the fad. But when it comes to people that were born in 80s and 70s, I guess you can call us boomers, but even though it's got nothing to do with baby boomers, because basically that's what boomers are, so I'm not a boomer. And anybody who's grown up in the 90s will agree with me that there are tremendous amounts of video games out there that should be brought back. Because the games that they make now, the new titles that they make now, they're not good. They're not good games. They're not good games at all. And I would like to see them bring them back. I really would. You know, maybe new mechanics, like I said a while ago. I would love to see other developers go back to square one and say, you know what? Remember when this game came out, how fun it was for a lot of people that bought it? Yeah, you know, we should bring it back. Yeah, we should. We should bring it back. Oh, yeah, and not to mention, not just 90s titles, but even early 2000s titles, like the Call of Duty titles, you know, like Modern Warfare. But then they screwed it up by making the other Modern Warfare. I feel like they screwed it up because now they started, you know, implementing their own political opinion into the whole thing. If you're anything like me, you'll notice it. But then again, there's not a lot of people like myself. Hallelujah for that, I guess. I don't know. But this game is something that I've been waiting for a long time. And I'm glad that they brought it back. It's smooth looking. It feels like I'm not even playing the game. It feels like I'm just interacting with the Final Fantasy VII Advent Children prequel. Because basically that's what it is. It's a prequel to the Advent Children. But I loved it. I loved everything about it. I'm hyped. April 10th. I'm really hyped. Though I don't have the funds to reserve a copy, because I don't. My channel's not successful. And, you know, I, like other people, I don't know, I guess, responsible adults, we have bills to pay and things to do with the money rather than just go off and buy video games just because we fucking feel like it. But I hope that when the game comes out, it really does have everything that it had originally, even though I have been hearing a lot of rumors over the game not being a full release. If any of you still have the classic PS1 Final Fantasy VII, you're gonna remember that it's discs. It's not just one disc. It's several discs. As soon as you're done with the first disc, the PS tells you to change to the other one. It saves it on the card, and then you pop in the other disc, and you continue on with the story. Just remember that those games were megabytes of memory being used, and now we have gigs on Blu-rays. So it's kind of odd that it would be this difficult for Square Enix, to add all of the graphics and all of the story into one disc, because we're not working with megabytes anymore. And I know what you're going to say. Hey, you can't compare. It's not the equivalence because of graphics, because of the engines and everything. It's going to be a lot bigger, but probably if If anything, and they would sell the whole game in disc format, it would probably end up being like about maybe around 4 or 5 discs because of all the graphics and the engines and everything. And it would, you know what? And I'll be honest with you, I wouldn't mind. You know why I wouldn't mind? Because that would still be something insanely retro to the 90s. Because that's what the original Final Fantasy VII was. It was a thick box, and it had the compartments for the discs. So if they actually ended up doing that also, I wouldn't mind. I would love to see that again. Unfortunately, I've also been hearing rumors about it being split up into episodes or split up into parts. They haven't confirmed whether or not we're going to have to purchase those also, or will they be part of the deal, buying the whole full game or not. That's something that I'm also kind of like afraid of seeing if they don't treat this game like another Destiny, where they started off with all these hyped up rumors and the gameplay and everything, and when you finally played the game, turns out that it wasn't even the full game, and they started selling you the DLCs as separate from the game, even though it was pretty much the hardcore point of the game. So I'm kind of afraid of that. I'm kind of afraid of Square Enix and the people behind it to split the game up into DLCs that we're gonna have to pay also for a different price, separate from the original game, or the actual game release. So I'm scared about that. I'm a little paranoid over that. I still haven't heard much from it. I've seen a lot of YouTubers cover the game and discuss it. Some of them gave it bad reviews. I don't even know why. They're full of shit. They don't even know what the fuck they're talking about. And trust me, I think I understand why. Because they're millennials. The YouTubers that I saw commenting and reviewing on the game, a bunch of millennials. They didn't grow up in the 90s. They wouldn't know anything about being excited over a game like this that we haven't played in over decades. I was 16 the first time I played this game. Yeah, you can call me an old fart or a relic or a dinosaur or a boomer, whatever. I don't give a shit what you say about me and my age. But just keep in mind that it's people in my age category and others who are older than me who enjoyed video games. We're the ones that paved the way for what you guys are enjoying right now. So yeah, don't be hypocrites. Anyways, but yeah, there's nothing else I could say about it. It looks great. I loved it. It was amazing, and I can't wait to play the full game. And like I said, I hope it's actually the whole full game, because I like to breeze through a lot of games, and I hope that this is one of those games that take weeks to finish, has tons and tons of hours of gameplay. It doesn't end up being one of those games that at first looks full but actually ends up being like an hour's worth of gameplay and like maybe 2 worth of cutscenes. But I highly recommend it. I recommend this game. I recommend Medieval. I recommend Resident Evil 2, Resident Evil 3 Nemesis, even though they screwed my Jill and they screwed my Claire the way they looked. They looked kind of butchy, in my opinion. I recommend the Modern Warfare remake, I guess you could say, but not the new one. Any games that any developers think about bringing back, I highly suggest that you look at the catalog of the most successful games from the 90s, because you will make a killing by bringing them back. And I hope to see more classic games come back, because like L'Oreal, they're worth it. So that was my video. I don't know, it's my opinion, it's my train of thought, it's my ramblings. I don't know if you have the same opinion as me. Maybe you might actually have different opinions than I do. If you do, go ahead and leave it on a comment on the bottom. I'll get back to you, and we can discuss about the game and what you hope it will, your hopes of what it may have, your fears of what it may not. And remember to subscribe, leave a comment like I said before. Give me a thumbs up, support a small YouTuber. We already got all those big YouTubers, so time's up. Time to let other people have a shot at the spotlight. And recommend to your friends. So that was it. Thank you very much for watching.